Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be reviewing the makeup items from Catrice's 2024 Advent Calendar. Welcome back, and today we are doing a bit something new. So today I will be reviewing all the makeup items from Catrice's last Christmas's Advent Calendar. And at the end of the video I will be also showing some other stuff that was in the Advent Calendar and giving my sort of overall conclusions that do I think the Advent Calendar was worth its price. I did get the Advent Calendar as a birthday gift during November from my younger brother, so that's just something to know. So I didn't pay for the calendar myself, but I thought that it would be fun to get a sort of Advent Calendar, so a gift that gift that kept on giving a bit longer as a birthday gift, because my birthday is quite close to December. And also because I have obviously I haven't tried the sort of the rest of the items that I will be mentioning at the end of the video, so I'm just gonna go on with when I'm thinking about the overall value of the calendar, it's gonna be a bit maybe based on also just the face value of things that were included but just so you know that the stuff that you're gonna see maybe at the end section of video, I haven't been actually trying those out. So this video, purely from user experience, is genuinely focused on the makeup items. And I do have to say that knowing what Catrice can do, because Catrice is one of those makeup, in more drugstore makeup brand that's easily accessible for me, and it's actually also genuinely inexpensive compared to maybe some of the L'Oreal and Maybelline and NYX that are, or Milani, that are quite inexpensive for example in the US, but are actually quite expensive here in Europe. So in Europe, generally, if you're looking for inexpensive makeup, then Catrice and Catrice's sister brand Essence are usually genuinely brands that offer cheaper makeup. And some of these have been pretty great, and some of these have been not so great, so I can already say there's a bit of mixed feelings going on with this one. I think how we're gonna do this is that I'm gonna go first show the one base product that is included in this calendar and give my thoughts about that one, then the cheek ones, then the lip ones, and then lastly we're gonna go through the eye ones. And actually this time I have swatch photos from all of these stuff, so I don't have to be doing any live swatching. You'll be seeing images somewhere over here. But let's first get to the sort of only base product that was included in the calendar, and that itself is a bit of a sort of biggest problem I had with this calendar. So I'm taking a long breath because I'm just trying to say this in a calm manner. So there was indeed one Complexion product in the calendar. So Catrice included the under eye brightener in the calendar, and this is, I'm gonna show close up because the packaging is quite small. And I'm gonna open this one up. So basically it's a peachy corrector. Now you're gonna be popping images here, or I'm gonna be popping image here so you can see them, swatch out the color. Makeup brands shouldn't really do this. I did notice that L'Oreal, for example, absolutely did also this. They apparently had a concealer, at least in some variations of the Advent calendars from 2024 here in Europe, which I was kind of thinking that, oh yeah, you're not gonna get feedback, because just like with L'Oreal, Catrice also didn't offer any shade options. So you didn't have different variation of the calendar. So if you were, for example, medium, then there was a choice that hey, this is for medium skin tones, this version of the calendar, and if you have a deep skin tone, this is for deeper skin tones. They only had one variation of the calendar that had this one variation of Complexion product. And you really shouldn't do that as a brand. There are a lot of, for example, with cheap products, there are some leeway, or there are ways you can sort of include products so that everyone is catered for. But with this kind of a Complexion product that is clearly meant to correct dark under eyes on a fair to light skin tone, the peachy corrector is good for that. But then with other skin tones, you have to use other kind of correcting shades to counteract darkness under your eyes, or any other kind of coloration issues that their skin can have. So I'm just brands shouldn't really do this unless they give you an option then to choose a calendar that is specifically for your skin tone. Now let's then forget the issue of already including a Complexion product, and let's just go to how this was. So probably you can see from the swatch image, this is a pretty emollient corrector, and when I immediately did the swatch of this one, I was thinking that okay, we're gonna have a bit of issues. I have been praising the Essence corrector that Essence came out on their whole edit last year, and saying that that's exactly what I wanted from a corrector. It's a nice smooth corrector formula that mixes in with your makeup. It's not greasy feeling, it's not super emollient and thick. This is emollient, greasy and bit thick. I am currently, or have been wearing this now during like now a bit over a week. This is a corrector I'm currently wearing. And I do think it has mixed in okay with my concealer and foundation, but I definitely don't still think that this is the like, I'd much rather like when I'm done using this one, I will be like getting back to using the Essence one. I'm gonna be using this product up, but this is definitely the kind of thing that made me originally think that I'm not that interested in using corrector kind of products, because this has the kind of formula that I'm not a fan of. I do think that it sort of counteracts the black, like dark under eyes pretty decently, but I do feel that it is like not also as effective maybe as the Essence one, and that maybe is related to the fact that because it's a bit more like a greasier formula, I do think that instead of sinking into the skin, it kind of like, in some angles, it for me looks like it's more like sitting on top of your under eye area rather than like being pushed into the sort of skin and actually like molding in with your other makeup products. But yeah, this was the sort of like for makeup products in terms of like not my favorite one, but I will be able to use this up, but just generally they shouldn't have included this in the calendar. Then let's go to the two cheek products. So they had one blush and then one highlighter. And just FYI, most of these products don't have shade names. I think the lip products and the eyeliners might have shade names, but most of these are called just a cream to powder blush, like the blush I'm gonna show, or a just Catrice highlighter. With someone who has a big collection, that's a bit problematic, because if you, for example, I'm a person who also has a lot of Catrice blushes, or generally I was thinking that I can't put that in my makeup Excel just as a Catrice blush. That's gonna be like, I won't know then what product I have like put in there. So the cream to powder blush packaging looks like this, and here is the shade. And I do think that if you're gonna include, I'm gonna now actually pop in the picture, you're also gonna see the highlighter swatches in the same picture. But if you are gonna be doing a blush, only one blush shade in the calendar, I think this was the best they could do, because this is the kind of shade that you can build it up to be quite deep, so it's gonna cater to different skin tones, but because it's a more like a cream formula, there is a sort of buildability to it, so someone with a fair skin tone can also like use this one. I like the shade, it's quite nice, and I do think that the formula, I don't think it's like the best liquid blush formula that I have tried from a drugstore. I do definitely think that from Makeup Revolution, for example, I've tried good liquid blushes. From Essence and actually from Catrice themselves, I have tried like good liquid blushes, but I do think it's a nice nice liquid blush, and especially if you're considering that this was that you got this calendar maybe to someone who is just starting out their makeup collection, this could be a good first product to try out. And this one, it does dry down matte, because this actually felt pretty like it probably isn't visible, but it was quite creamy when I initially swatched it. I was thinking that okay, but is this gonna be like sticky? But it will settle down, and truly, as it says, it's a cream to powder formula, so it does lean more matte when it dries down to your cheeks. Then we have the highlighter. So again, this is just called Catrice Highlighter. You are seeing the highlighter swatch images on the screen. It's a nice golden highlighter. Unfortunately, this is something that does put a cost on my like skin when I wear it, so I do have to like dab this out with my sponge to sort of make it melt into my blush. So if you have a fair to light skin, this necessarily won't melt in maybe as well as maybe some other highlighter shades. This is more definitely on the glittery side of highlighters, so how I managed to make this work for me is that I can't do the one, like if I only put one layer of this on my cheekbones, then it's gonna be like Glitter City, but when you like layer this a couple of times, then you get the sort of smooth nice effect, like a smooth shine effect on your cheeks. But this is also something that if you build this up, it is truly going to be quite of a blinding experience. Like you can probably see from the swatches that this is truly a highlighter not for the faint-hearted, so you have to definitely like your blinding highlighters. But I do think people who have medium to deeper skin tones, for them this is going to be an excellent. But if you have a fair to light skin tone, again, maybe they could have included two highlighters, or maybe do some kind of double-sided thing where the pan could have been split from the middle, and in one side they could have had a more like champagne leaning version, and then on the other side the more gold leaning version. But as a highlighter, if especially you like more a blinding highlighter, I do think this is a nice formula, and I do think this was one of the like better designed products in the calendar. Then let's get to the eye products. So first I'm gonna be showing the products that I am a bit the most probably, aside from the character, these are probably the most disappointing things in the calendar. So in the advent calendar they have two of these like cream eyeliners. I'm gonna be popping out again the swatch image so you can see the swatch out here like on my hand. And I was initially thinking that, hey, this is cool because advent calendar, it's kind of a joke within the makeup community, especially with channels who review and talk a lot about advent calendars, is that there's always going to be a black eyeliner with an advent calendar. Like if you get a makeup advent calendar, there's certainly going to be some kind of black eyeliner. Then I saw these ones and I was thinking that, hey, that's pretty cool. Catrice is doing like, these are, I think, supposed to be duochrome eyeliners, but the shift, because these are drugstore like ones, isn't like that obvious. With the red one I think you can maybe see it on the swatch, it's more obvious, there is a sort of like gold to red shift to it. This one I think is meant to have a blue-purple shift, but that's kind of, it doesn't really show up that well. And when I swatched these out, like even swatched out, I was thinking that, yeah, okay, that's something cool. Like I usually don't do eyeliners, but for the sake of like, sake of the reviewing them, I was thinking that that's actually something cool. Now I'm actually gonna like put in the sort of like two eye looks that I use this on, then we can start discussing then why these went wrong for me. So unfortunately first is that these are very hard to get any pigment out of them, and this part is strange because hand swatching them was pretty okay. I didn't feel that when I swatched these to the back of my hand there was any issues, but then when I actually started applying these to eyes I was like thinking that okay, yeah, this wasn't good. Because you have to press this quite hard, I wasn't able to get this to stick on my lower lash line at all. If I tried to, I like had to press almost so hard that my eyes started to water, and even still I still didn't have any color on my lash line. So then I thought that okay, maybe not the lower lash line, but at least because they swatch well on my hand, I'll then do the upper lash line, and that's when you can kind of see both of the images. I'm gonna put the red gold one to the upper sort of up, so I'm sorry, that's probably not gonna show that well because that's like then again shows that I really had to like press these to get the kind of pigment that you're seeing in these images, and even then the pigment and payoff wasn't that impressive. And then we come to the other issue that you have to press these, but the crayons, they don't, like they break. I had with both of these the same issue that I ended up having like small pieces of the crayon on my eyelids and then on my makeup table, and then I had to try to take those out, and then I had to swirl the like pencil again, and then again when I tried to get some color off, then again of course they ended up breaking. So these were like in terms of quality, like I was thinking it was pretty cool, and I do think that I haven't tried any other Catrice eyeliners, so I don't know is this the general, if someone has tried other Catrice eyeliners, do tell me have you had similar issues with them, especially these kind of retractable ones. But I was thinking that it's kind of cool that they tried to do something different than just not do the easy things, which would have been to include a black like general eyeliner. But it's just that the execution and quality of these ones, like these are gonna be after my couple of weeks rotation, because these are still products that I'm using. So, but these are gonna be thrown out immediately because these were just like poor quality, there wasn't any payoff, and then these break down when you try to get any payoff from these. So inconvenient to use and just like bad quality in general. But it's such a shame because these had so much potential, and I really hope brands could at least then look example and think that okay, if you want to include eyeliners in your makeup advent calendars, then do something else than black. So then the eyeshadow palette, and again this is called just the Catrice eyeshadow palette, doesn't have a name. And with this one you're gonna be seeing, as with always with my eyeshadow palette reviews, there's gonna be one image with swatches and then some demo looks. I'm actually wearing the palette currently today, so this is gonna be one of the looks that you're gonna be seeing. And this is how the palette is looking. And I kinda, again, I had much more better expectation to this than what this ended up being. So now I'm gonna pop out the swatches and then the demo looks. And as you can see from the swatches, this actually swatched out pretty decently. I do think that especially the matte quality of this one was quite good, considering that this is a more drugstore brand and Catrice isn't exactly known for doing pretty good eyeshadow. This isn't like the... They used to have the Slim Pro eyeshadow palettes. Those were pretty good. With those there was the issue that the longevity of those palettes weren't very good. Those like expired almost a year after you started using them, but at least when you initially got those the quality was good. But after like the eyeshadow that I have tried from Catrice, after those palettes, because it's now the line has been redone and I wasn't so impressed with the new ones, Catrice really hasn't been doing that good of eyeshadow, but I do think the matte quality of this one was pretty decent. I was especially surprised about the fact that this has the deep green shade over here, and it's actually in one of the looks I ended up using it almost as like full base of the look, and it was pretty impressive that how well it built and how you were able to blend it out. So the mattes are okay, but my biggest issue with this one is with the shimmers. Unfortunately, the shimmers of this one are pretty lackluster, and I'm not anymore like... Drugstore brands can do good shimmers. It's not anymore about the fact that the shimmer formulations, like have basic good shimmer formula would be too expensive to produce, because there are now ways to clearly, like other drugstore brands have managed to produce quite a good shimmer formula. The only like I think that were shimmers that were at least somehow decent was this yellow over here, and then this one over here. Then there's a one dot shade in this one, so this purple one, I actually did use this one today, but it's just awful. It crumbles. I tried to apply it with a brush and I tried to apply it with a finger, and I somehow managed to make it stick to my eyelids, but it was a hassle. But just like generally, aside from the two shimmer shades that I showed, they were just like, because they were like disappointing, and also you can see from the swatches, actually swatched out most of the shimmers, they look pretty good, but then when you get them to your eyes, it's just not something that impresses me, even if I would consider that this is a more inexpensive brand. And obviously, because I do think the matte formula of this one was pretty okay, I was thinking that then if they managed to do an okay matte formula, why couldn't they do an okay shimmer formula? I also do have to give them credit that this could have been also, if they would have gotten the shimmer quality like good. Like, I do think this has a good variation for being a advent calendar palette. We have some cool tones, there's some depth, we have some like pop of color with the purple and the dark green. So if they would have just put in more effort into the shimmer formula, this could have actually been a pretty good like drugstore palette. So after I'm done again with my sort of tryout rotation with this one, this is probably gonna be decluttered, because it's no use for me keeping this one, because the quality of it is so... it's like below mediocre. Then lastly to the lip products, and with this one, these I think were the strong point. I'm first gonna show the one lip product that I wasn't happy with, but then I'm gonna show the ones that were actually like I think the best part of this calendar. So this liquid lipstick, unfortunately, this looked very beautiful on the lips when I first applied this. I tried this a few days ago. I'm gonna show the... You're gonna see now basically, yeah, we'll do so because I have these combined these. So we're gonna do so that we're gonna first discuss the lip products and then the lip liners after that one. So you're gonna now see the full-on swatches of both the bullet lipsticks and the liquid lipstick, and also swatched out. This was promising, and initially when I applied this was promising. But unfortunately, this is one of those liquid lipsticks that these crumble away on your lips the moment you drink anything or eat anything, and then if you try to reapply this, you would have to do a whole lip treatment routine and then do a reapplication. But I can't be doing a whole lip care routine on the go if I have to reapply this during the daytime when I'm working, when I'm going to meetings from another, when I'm going from place to another. Like, I can't be doing a full-on lip scrub and lip peel routine and then try to reapply this one. And it's such a disappointment, because I do think that the color of this one, as I said, this is a more of a like a vampy red color. You can probably see from the comparison that the bullet lipstick I'm gonna show later, it's a more berry colored. And it actually felt pretty decent on the lips, but it's just that the crumbles, and also because it starts crumbling, I had the sort of like dark crumbles of liquid lipstick basically on my like here and here, and it just didn't look like it wasn't an attractive sight. And then if you try to reapply this, obviously because you have crumbles of like liquid lipstick, the new layer is obviously gonna get messed up with the crumbles on your lips. So it just wasn't a pretty sight, and it wasn't a good like user experience. So this had like a potential to be a very nice liquid lipstick, and Catrice can do, there's a lot of like lip products that I do like from them, but this was just unfortunately a no-go for me, and this is again something that's gonna be getting decluttered because I can't be like a lip product for me, because I actually like then use these on my daily life. I can't be babying them, they need to work for me and not so that I will have to make work for them to work out. So this was a fail. Then let's get to the good part. So there are 2 satin lipsticks came with the calendar. So these are the, again these don't have names, C2 and C1 were the lipsticks. So you're seeing the swatches still on the on your screen, but this is how they're looking. And I do think it was quite smart for them. I'm currently actually wearing the more neutral shade, which is the shade CO, or is it C01? But I also have tried the berry shade, obviously, because I'm reviewing these now. And these are very nice satin lipsticks. The packaging is pretty light, so you can definitely feel that these are drugstore lipsticks, but I'm not gonna give like too much crap about it because I do think that these are very beautiful. They glide onto your lips nicely. Trying to, if you can maybe, I'm gonna be taking the image out for this one, so I'm gonna maybe if you're able to see, but they have a sort of engraved the lipstick bullet. So I think this was a nicely done advent calendar product, and actually the product quality is pretty good, and these are definitely staying in my collection, and as I said, these were probably the best part of the calendar. Similarly, they did 2 matching lip liners to this one, and now you're gonna be seeing the lip liner swatches also on your screen. So they did a more deeper one, which I do think is meant to like go with also with the liquid lipstick color, and then they did a more neutral one to go with the neutral lipstick. And again, these are good, sort of good lip liners. They glide onto your lips. It's a bit stiffer lip liner formula, but I don't mind it because some of those super soft lip liner formulas, they can wear off quite quickly, but even though it's a bit maybe stiffer, it doesn't still mean that these are tacky to apply. These are very nice to apply, they do the job. And again, these were like one of the hits from the calendar and something that are definitely going to stay in my collection. The only downside I do have to say from these is that because these are retractable ones, these are the kind of retractable ones that be careful how much product you sort of roll out at once, because you can't then roll them back. So that is maybe the only downside of this one. But in terms of product quality and how well these colors went with the lip products that were included in the calendar are pretty well done. So that was sort of all my thoughts and sort of demo swatches of the makeup product, and now let's like I will be showing the rest of the products that I still kept from the calendar and sort of my overall conclusions that was this calendar sort of worth it, and especially if I would have bought this on my own money, which I didn't, as I said at the beginning, but if I would have bought it then. And maybe also that if you're considering getting the advent calendar from Catrice next year, so or not next year, this year in 2025, so maybe some thoughts about that too. So let's first show what else was in the calendar. So aside from makeup products, there was quite many nail products. So Catrice, they do have full-on like nail polish line, and then they have some nail care products. Some things that I did end up throwing away because I thought those were filler items. There was a nail file, it was a full-size nail file, but I do think nail files are notoriously known for being the sort of like filler items of all advent calendars. And then there was some nail stickers, and I still haven't found the person who actually uses those kind of nail stickers, so those were kind of filler items that I ended up throwing away. I still have the nail polishes. I have to figure out what to do with these ones because I don't use nail polishes, so these ones, I do think that if I'm just going based on the fact that these are full-size nail polishes and the kind of colors that were included, I do think it's kind of cool. This purple one has especially like cool pink reflects into it. There's a classic red, and then you have this sort of neutral pearl pink shade over here. So I do think that just if I take this as a face value that there were like 3 full-size nail polishes that had some nice color variations, I do think those were quite like good products. There were some skincare products. I did end up giving one of the skincare products for my friend, but aside from that one that I gave away, there is one of these I think this is meant to be a lip mask. I haven't tried this out. There was like only 2 of these, so I can, again, because it was a more inexpensive calendar, I can kind of think that, okay, yeah, but I'd say, even though it's a one, sort of, you're only gonna get one use out of this one, but still, it's a full-size product again, and something fun to try out. Then there was one nail clip. If you're gonna do this kind of nail clips, I do think Catrice did it in a right way. This actually design seems to fit the calendar, which was kind of 20s Great Gatsby themed. And I don't think this feels like a cheap, because some of the like hair clips that have come in advent calendars, those have felt like very cheap and not exactly like tailor-made for the calendar. But I do think that if you're gonna include one of these products, Catrice did it right, and this is something that I did keep. And then still from the skincare products, there was a full-size lip mask. This has a very fun looking swirl on the middle. This, while it's not the most exciting product, is definitely a product that I will eventually use and I will be using up, because I do need my lip care, especially when I go to sleep. So again, a full-size product and definitely something that's going to be useful, so I can't actually critique this too much. I'm actually pretty okay of getting one of these, because I do know that I will be eventually needing a new lip balm in my routine. So, is this a calendar that is worth its price? So this was around 52 euros full price. You could in some places get it a bit cheaper, and I think the value-added tax in your country does affect what was the selling out price of this one. I do think that even if I would have paid my own money for this one, again I will emphasize I got this as a birthday gift from my brother, but if I would have paid this out, yeah, some of the makeup items, not all of them were hits. That's the kind of thing that also I have come across also in more expensive advent calendars. I for the longest, for example, had the Glossy Box advent calendar yearly, however they no longer deliver or do business in my country, so I wasn't able to buy that one. So like having makeup products that don't work out happens more expensive calendars, so for it to happen in this kind of calendar, I'm not gonna like knock too much about it, because I do still think that considering the variety and the fact that all the items that you got in the calendar were full size, I do think this was like worth its money. And I think if you're thinking about buying this kind of calendar next year, if you like Catrice's products, and because these are also products that were exclusive to this calendar, so it does kind of raise the value, because I know that they're like people weren't able to get these products in anywhere than in the calendar. So I do think that was like offers something unique, and if you like Catrice, I do think this is a calendar that at least I would recommend also looking into next year. I usually do so that I do because I actually I'm an makeup advent calendar fan, so I did know beforehand approximately what was in the calendar. I do think I actually covered this in my sort of collective makeup advent calendar video. But usually, because there's quite a long time span from the fact that when the calendar content is revealed and then when I actually get the calendar. So I did remember like some of the items that were included in the calendar, but there were still surprises for me, because there was such a long time span from the beginning of the fall when I first saw the calendar contents revealed, and then when I actually started opening the calendar in December, so there were still surprises. And I do think the creation of items, like generally, like I obviously knew there's going to be nail items in this one, but that doesn't bother me, because if I just think about the variety and the fact that again all of this was full size. So I think it was a pretty good advent calendar, and next year if you are shopping from Catrice and you want to get a advent calendar that doesn't break the bank, I would look into this one. And yeah, I think that was sort of my thoughts. Some makeup items unfortunately will be getting decluttered, but I think most of the items still are items that I'm gonna use, so I'm pretty happy with this one. Comment down below what did you think about the contents of this calendar, or was there another advent calendar that you got, and what were your end conclusion now that we're on January and sort of December has gone by? So were you happy with the stuff you got, or was it like a failure for you? If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope I'll be seeing you again soon in the video. Bye bye!